Yeah, thanks very much. And it is Morning for Hope, and Breakfast Television and Rogers a proud sponsor of this because it is really out there. People do need help. But if you know somebody that is suffering from abuse, do you even know what to say? We're going to go through what you say, what you do if you know somebody as we try to raise hope this morning on Breakfast Television. Morning for Hope. We'll be right back. Yeah, with the Canadian Women's Foundation, and right off the bat, we have a number. It's a victim link phone number that's going to be on the screen throughout this whole interview, because if you are out there and you even just feel like something's not right, that you need help, you're encouraged to call that number. But Sarah, what do people do if they think they suspect that maybe a friend of theirs or a family member is going through an abusive situation?
The most important thing anybody can do is to be supportive, to let them know, let that person know that you're there to support them, to listen non-judgmentally, and also let them know that violence isn't their fault. And when they're ready, you can also point them to resources like Victim Link, the number on the screen, to help them get the help that they need. And today is a big day. We are trying to raise hope along with the Canadian Women's Foundation. Yes, so this is the Canadian Women's Foundation's annual campaign to end violence against women, and all the money raised during the campaign goes to every shelter across Canada, as well as violence prevention programs that help women rebuild their lives after abuse, that help children who've witnessed abuse to heal, and to help teens learn about healthy relationships so that they don't become victims or abusers in their own lives.
So the money that's raised nationally, the kinds of places that money goes to, shelters,
yes,
programs.
Yep. It goes to all those places, and everything that's raised this weekend at Winners and HomeSense, donations will be doubled, and they'll go to help every shelter across Canada, as well as violence prevention programs.
Such an important initiative. And again, if you need help, we actually have phone numbers on our Facebook page that people can refer to. Again, there's the Victim Link phone number there as well, and it makes a difference. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to meet a woman who has been able to get out of one of those situations and pays it forward. And it's such an important initiative. Jody, we're helping raise hope this morning, Morning for Hope on Breakfast Television. Exactly, and a reminder, we've got the Victim Link telephone number up there. If you see even anything familiar, if you hear anything familiar for either yourself or someone that you know, and Haiti, you are a survivor, and we are trying to give people that understanding. But you know, in your relationship, it started off great. Peaches and cream, very charming, your husband, your ex-husband.
It did. It was wonderful. He was a very charming man, and he had a very fatherly kind of figure. So I thought that we were going to have a great blended family, and that is how it started.
How did you know things weren't right? How did you know that this was, this doesn't feel like this is the way it should be?
Honestly, it was pretty right soon into the relationship. However, I was waiting for things to change. I was hoping that I would be able to change him, the situation, and things were going to get better. But like we know, they never do. But that was my hope and my wish at that time.
And abuse looks different for different people. You call them shades.
Yes, I do. The 50 shades of abuse. There are different signs, subtle. It could be controlling ways. It could be the clothes that you're wearing, how you are talking to people, what you're saying or not saying, who your friends are, and then the things escalate and escalate. And when you realize about it, you may be really buried into the situation and not knowing how to get out.
So what was your first step? What did you do to say this is the time?
Actually, my first step was after Christmas Eve, when I saw that our Christmas tree had been hurled out of the window and was in the backyard. That was my defining moment, and I thought, who is going to be next after this? So what I did is I reached a common friend that we had, and I asked him to please help me pick up my belongings from home and leave my home. So thanks to George, that's his name, I was able to leave the house safe. And then thanks to a student of mine, Mandy, she is out of the country, she's in Taiwan. We spent, my daughter and I, a couple of nights at their home, Mandy and Leo.
So you had someone helping you. You had somebody that wasn't going to be a bystander, someone who enabled you to get out of that abusive situation. And this really is why we're here today, raising hope. It is Morning for Hope. Again, the phone number on your screen throughout the morning, it's the Victim Link phone number. You can donate. You can text 3033. It's Give Hope to 3033. Coming up on the screen, several numbers that you can call as well. We've got all that information on our Facebook page. Again, we are helping women and, of course, their children, as it happened with you, getting out of those abusive situations. Thor, such an important morning. We've got more throughout the morning from Winners Home Sense, where, by the way, this weekend, starting Friday, they will be matching donations. Yeah, thanks very much. And earlier, less than a half hour ago, we heard the story of Haiti and how she was able to get herself out of an abusive situation. Coming up next, though, why she doesn't like the term survivor and how you can help on this Morning of Hope. Stay with us. You're watching BT. Exactly. Thanks very much, Jody. And there is a phone number on the screen during the interviews this morning. If you are in trouble yourself or you know someone who's in trouble, please call that number. We've got more numbers coming up in a bit. But Haiti, earlier we heard your story of, and I'm going to say survival, but you don't like that term.
What I would like to say, even though I am a survivor and I was a survivor, today I consider myself a victor. And this is thanks to the help received by the wonderful counseling services from Dixon Society and also from the intervention of the RCMP. Without their help, we wouldn't be here today, myself and my daughter, talking about hope and freedom.
And you talk about the fact that you had help because people should know that they don't have to do this alone. And it's interesting that now you are one of those people that help other women and children.
I am, and that brings me extreme joy. What I like to do is to go to shelters and talk to women, inspire them to continue on their journey. And also I like to talk to people from the general public to raise awareness and to educate about all the things that people can do to help.
And the Dixon Transition Society, just one of the shelters that's able to help. And Sarah, this is really why we're here today, why we are giving hope, raising hope on this Morning of Hope.
Yep, Dixon Society is one of 400 shelters that the Canadian Women's Foundation supports through this campaign. And we also support violence prevention programs across Canada. So the money is going to the resources that can help women to rebuild their lives and reestablish hope.
So on this day, and we've got some information that's going to come up on your screen, how can people help?
People can donate online at CanadianWomen.org. They can come into Winners and Home Sense this weekend, Friday to Sunday. All donations are being matched. They can buy a beautiful product. They can text Give Hope to 30333 to give $10. And that's it.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
It's that easy. And if you kind of thought, I didn't get all those numbers, not to worry. We've got all that information up on our Facebook page there, Jody. And of course, Sarah was referring to these great products coming up just after celebrations. We're also going to give you some great ideas, perhaps for Mother's Day, a way to give to your mother and also give back to women and children that are needing your help today. As we are supporting Morning for Hope, of course, the Canadian Women's Foundation raising money for very important causes.
Yep, this is our national campaign to end violence against women. So Morning for Hope is part of our campaign, as well as Shop for Hope. And we've got 3 more days in the campaign, and it's a great time to come in and get a beautiful product. These Shop for Hope products, the net proceeds go to the Canadian Women's Foundation to support shelters and violence prevention programs, and they're gorgeous Mother's Day gifts.
It's a perfect timing for that. And we just read birthday celebrations, perhaps a nice little stuffed animal. So we've got the gorgeous elephants, we've got the jewelry boxes, and then some lovely pillows as well, which are all supporting the cause, correct?
Yep. I know my mom would love this jewelry box. You just have to look out for the Shop for Hope tag.
Okay.
And you're set.
And then there's another way that people can help as well.
Yep. Between Friday and Sunday, when you come in and make a donation with one of these decals, Winners and Home Sense will match your donation. So everything that you donate will get doubled, and that will help. Again, 400 shelters across Canada and violence prevention programs funded by the Canadian Women's Foundation.
More information coming up on your screen right now. There are numbers to call. There are websites to go to. You can text as well. For more details, you can also, if it's all coming by very fast, go to our Facebook page, Jody, because it's all there. And again, we are just trying to raise hope. We are trying to give hope. Again, Morning for Hope. And it is a morning for hope, and there are many ways that you can help. But first off, Sarah, just remind people why they should help today.
So this is all part of the Canadian Women's Foundation campaign to end violence. The campaign runs until Sunday, and all the funds raised go to more than 400 shelters across Canada for abused women and violence prevention programs. So people can go online and donate at CanadianWomen.org. They can come into Winners and Home Sense, buy a product, or they can make a donation. All donations are going to be doubled by Winners and Home Sense between Friday and Sunday.
And it's providing resources to women and, of course, their children that want to get out of an abusive situation, to provide them with everything they need. People like Haiti, you shared your story with us early this morning, your story of being in an abusive situation, your story of getting out of it. Now you help other women and children. For anyone that's watching right now and maybe they're in that situation, what would you say to them right now?
I would like to say, if you're a woman or a girl trapped in an abusive relationship, I know how you feel. I know you feel alone, hopeless, ashamed. It doesn't have to be that way. Reach out, get out there and reach wonderful organizations and people who are going to lead you out of where you are today and will bring hope in your heart and freedom to your life.
Thank you very much for sharing your story. You can help today. Information on your screen. Call, help your friends, help your family, and more importantly, do it today. For more details, again, information on your screen. We're going to take a little time out here on Breakfast Television. Morning for Hope, helping women and children in support with the Canadian Women's Foundation.